Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? And we have rewind and following. Following again. We always stay up. How to avoid prison. How to avoid getting arrested. How to avoid problems. They say sometimes you can't avoid as men, as young men, as alpha males, as having ego or pride. Sometimes it's hard for you to avoid problems. You see, when you get arrested and you sit in that, you see. Can I say you see? I can't say. Okay. When you get arrested and you sit in that cell and you sit in that prison and you got time, 5 years, 10 years, right? Do you ever sit back and look back and say, I could have done this different. I could have avoided that. I could have gone that way in that direction. That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Could you have done that? And most of the time you do. You do sit there in that prison, in that cell. You say to yourself, I could have done this better. I could have avoided going there that day. I could have avoided picking up this item. And a lot of things, there's no way you can't, as a man, you're not gonna really have it sit down and say, you know what? I wanna give a scenario. Like, these are events that actually do happen, you know what I mean? Like, these events do happen. So, three guys go out. They go out enjoying themselves. One guy's walking up in the morning, so there's three guys. So we'll just say Mr. A, yeah? Mr. A. A, you know what I'm saying? So A's walking up with his friends, B and C. They've all gone out, partied, having a great time. Mr. A, he's living his life. Everyone's happy. Everyone's living a good time. They're going out. They finish the club. And then the altercation happens. No fighting. There's just an argument. So there's an argument with one of A's friend. So B's having a misunderstanding with another guy outside a shop, right after a night out, right? So they're having an argument, face to face. There's nothing being blown. There's not really pushing going on. Then out of nowhere, A decides to go behind the guy and hits him. The guy falls to the floor. A is hyped, you know what I'm saying? Because he's done this, right? A, B, and C, they go off. They go about their business. The next day, they hear some bad news. Now A has to go hand himself in due to the situation that's happened, you know what I mean? And if I say bad news, that means bad news, you know what I mean? So now, could as you hear this story, could A avoided all of that? Could have just gone in the middle between B and the individual and said, you know what, guys, let's walk away. Could he have done that? Because if no blows were being swung, then could he have the option? Could he have the same way he had the option to hit the person? It's the same way he had the option to walk towards a person and towards his friend, drag his friend away, walk away from the situation, right? And look, just like that, A woke up in the morning, normal life. Now A's life is up. Now A's life is messed up. Now he's probably facing a lot of time. You know what I mean? Just for the fact that he decided to, instead of trying to stop the argument, he decided to get an argument and hit the person. And now, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So you can finish off the sentence that I'm not finishing off, because these are true stories. These are actually true stories. These are true events that happen. Like 100%. And I'm sure you've seen it. You see on the news. You see documentaries. You see on social media. These stories are real. So how to avoid prison? How to avoid going to prison? How to avoid getting arrested? That situation. If you put the scenario, A could have avoided that situation. You know what I mean? At that moment, there's so many things he could have done. And I know A, when he's sitting in prison right now, he's sitting down to himself and say, why didn't I not just maybe push the guy away, push his friend away, and walk away? And you can make up as much scenarios as possible. What if the guy kept going and arguing. Well, do you know what? I know we have a code, but sometimes this code, I don't want to snitch, but listen, sometimes as men, as we grow older, if you're walking away from a situation and the guy's still starting a situation, but half of the time, if you gotta call the police, you gotta call the police. You're not no snitch because you're calling the police. You're avoiding problems. You're avoiding hitting this person. You're avoiding getting into altercation. This is just the reality. You know what I mean? So sometimes as men, we gotta try and let go of the pride and just say, you know what? I know if I hit this guy, he could go down, he could stay alive. Okay, cool. But at the same time, I want to avoid a situation. As long as you've done your best to walk away from the situation, even if maybe you have to call the police and if you have to maybe like restrain the person, then do it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, let's avoid getting arrested. Let's avoid going to prison. Let's avoid anything happening. You know, and this is for men, young men out there, and women. Yeah, let's not even act like women don't get involved in craziness. So these are just things. These are just advice that we as men, we as human beings, have to take in sometimes. You know, so how to avoid problems, prison, arguments, fights. These are these situations. So following, and we're gonna keep rising to the top. Stay blessed, stay good, stay fresh and nice.